Well, good day, traders, and thank you for tuning in to Tales from the Pit. I know that we left off with an episode, a little bit of a cliffhanger yesterday, where I was explaining how we had a broker freeze in the pit on April 27th, 1987, and I'm screaming, please, please take these orders. He freezes, he won't take them. The end of the day comes, the next morning, I sit down with the bosses and they want me to take the fall for this. You say you made this $350,000 error, we'll fire you, and then I'll bring you back as my flunky, if you will, because he didn't say those words, but that's what it would have been. I'll bring you back as my local and you'll be okay. And with that, I said I would rather cut my arm off than lay here in front of all these people like a wounded animal, a wounded dog, if you will, and let them think I made this huge error. Because in honesty, the floor, as crazy as it sounds, it's almost like being in jail. You know what I mean? Everybody knows everything and will take advantage of every bit of you that they can. And you can't be the boogeyman. You can't be the guy that just did something really bad, because no one will work with you. So I quit the job. That's it. I quit. And I walk up to this top, to the roof of the trade centers where I was at, and I sat on the roof for about an hour. And I remember just looking out and saying, I just quit my job. This is all I want since I got out of high school through college. I left college to start charting classes at the Institute of Finance, worked my fingers to the bone, been the best clerk I could ever be. I'm finally going to be a broker. My papers are in, and I quit. That's it. I walk off the floor.
And now you had to come home and tell me.
That's true. But I still wasn't Michael. I'm still Michael, right? This jacket didn't exist, so I got to take this off still. We're not there yet. All right. So, what do I do now? I literally just, as far as I'm concerned, I just walked away from everything I ever dreamed of being. I had an analysis service on the floor. People are expecting me there. What do I do? And I went home. And I told Lisa, hey, this is what happened. And I walked out, and I will not allow that to be my reputation. I am very good at what I do. They're not smudging it. And I quit. And she's like, what'd you say, Lisa?
Oh my God. There's been so many times. So couldn't believe it, but I thought you were right. I was shocked at how you were treated. It's very hurtful.
And it was an interesting moment. We are freshly married. We have a house with a mortgage,
Right.
two-family, which is a complete wreck that we're trying to fix up so we can rent it out. And I don't have a job.
Right.
So,
But I did.
so what job did you have at the time?
I was working on the floor.
That's right. You were on the floor
Yeah.
with me. All right. So what do I do? What am I going to do with myself? So I can't figure out where to go. I mean, I am at a crossroads. What is Oscar going to do? I'm not asking yet. What's Michael going to do? How am I going to make it in life? This is what I thought I would be. So I go home, and I think it was a Wednesday or a Thursday. I did nothing on Friday. I did nothing on Saturday. And I did nothing on Sunday. I just thought. And by Monday morning, I don't know what to do, but I do know this. There'll be no drinking. There'll be no going out. There'll be no extracurricular activity until I figure this out. So Monday morning, I go out on my front steps, sit on the stoop, don't know what to do. It should be a day I'm at work. I look down, and I've got in front of my house 3 pieces of cement. So if you have like a walkway in front of your house, the cement, little slabs, there's usually a few pieces with a line of separation in between. I've got 3 of those in front of my house, just 3, little teeny front, 15-foot frontage. 3, so there's 3 pieces of cement slabs. And I decided that I was going to, for no reason at all, I know what to do. I got to get my head clear. I'm going to go get a sledgehammer. I'm going to break up that cement. I'm going to dig it all out, and I'm going to mix cement and rebuild the 3 pieces of cement in front of my house. This is what I'm going to do to get straight. So I've never done cement in my life. I don't know how to do cement, but I am going to give this a whirl. So I get a sledgehammer and I start breaking it up. It takes me a day and a half, 2 days. I'm going at it. It's great for my brain, right? I'm just physical labor, smashing cement. I start digging it out, filling it in a wheelbarrow, take the wheelbarrow, put it in my car, take it to the dump. So this takes days and days just to break up the cement. So now I've got it broken up, and I've never done cement before. So I think it's a good idea to dig down like this far. And then do a big mold with wood around it, but I must have dug 8, 10, 12 inches deep. I don't know you're supposed to go this deep for cement. I don't know anything about it. So I've got a pit all shaped out in wood, nicely, all framed. And I've got a Datsun 280ZX hatchback. You can lift up the back. Let me go to Home Depot, get a bag of cement. One bag. So I go to Home Depot. I get a bag of cement. I put it in my car. I drive all the... Now, going to Home Depot in Staten Island, you've got traffic. I mean, it's going to be insane. It's a half an hour to 40 minutes to get there. Once you get there, you got to stand online in those stores. I mean, it is a job to go to Home Depot. You don't go to Home Depot in the middle of work during the day. You go early in the morning and get your supplies. It takes too long for the round trip. Not me. I'm out of work. I don't care. So I drive to Home Depot. I wait online. It takes me forever. I get my one bag. I come home. I mix the bag in a wheelbarrow. It looks mixed to me. And I dump the wheelbarrow in, and it goes, eat, like, eat. It just takes this little teeny spot. All right, I pour all the cement in, and it fills a little spot. I've got 12 inches deep, 25 feet by 4 feet or 3 feet, whatever it is, long. One bag I come back with. One bag of work. So I mix the bag, I pour it in, eat, nothing happens. I get in my car all the way back to Home Depot. One more bag. I get one bag only. I come back with that other bag. I mix it. It's all ready to go. I dump the wheelbarrow and it goes, eek. It fills up like another spot this much. And I'm thinking, wonder how many bags I'm going to need. Back to Home Depot. I get one bag. I come back with one bag. Now I'm in a mode. Now I've got this mode going. My brain is just working on cement, driving to the store, waiting online, getting more cement, mixing it, knowing I don't have enough, and going back and doing it again. I went back 18 times, right, Lisa?
Oh,
18
yeah,
trips over 3 days. One bag at a time, knowing I need lots of bags, one bag at a time. It worked. I swear I needed to fix my brain. And after about a week of total nonsense, not even knowing why I would do it so difficultly and why I would waste so much time, it's what my brain needed. And I come up with an idea. I got it. I know what to do. F these guys on the floor. I'm going back. Me, on my own, strong as an ox. I don't have a dime. I don't have anyone to back me up. I've got no sponsors. I'm going back to the floor. That's it. You know? So this is what I come up with. I'm going back to the floor. Now, in order to actually become a broker, which my papers were submitted, and I was starting to do broker training right before the disaster happened on April 27th, in order to become a broker, you've got to have 3 sponsors, 3 brokers on the floor that will write their name in a line on a piece of paper that states, I trust this kid, I back this kid, my word goes behind them. So you need 3 friends to do that. Then you have to find a clearing firm that will back you and give you what's called a guarantee, meaning that no matter what you do insane in that trading pit, this clearing firm will stand behind your mistakes. Big favor you need, right? Which is generally why you don't become a broker unless you've got a daddy or somebody in your family owns a clearing firm.
Fund.
Right, or you were born with a trust fund.
Right.
A guy like me is not becoming a broker. You know what I mean? How are you going to get these guys to sponsor you? How are you going to get some clearing firm that's not related to you in any way, shape, or form to say, yeah, we'll put up $1 billion bond for Oscar. We believe in Oscar, but this has to be done. And if you could get those 2 things accomplished, then you have to go find a seat, either purchase one or you lease one. The leases are about $1,800 a month in 1987. That is,
Right.
rent is $350 a month. Picture this: if you had a nice house, rent is $350, $400 a month, which means I am going to now pay what would be 5 apartment rents at once. Try to get a lease, And I don't have money. Don't
And we
forget, I
have
don't
no
have any
money.
money. But I have got to go get a lease, convince a clearing firm to put that money behind me, get 3 guys to say yes, Oscar's financially stable and ready to go. And this all has to happen in a certain amount of time. Now, I took about 3 weeks to figure out what to do and how to actually maybe, now that I've got a plan, get this done. And I realized that it's Friday afternoon. No, it's Thursday afternoon. And on Monday morning, my paperwork expires and I got to start this process all over again. So it turns out I've got my 3 sponsors. Dominic Orciello, my mentor, came back to me and sponsored me. A friend of mine, Stephen Carvallis, sponsored me, if I remember right. And Tony Stale, rest his soul, a gentleman who died right in front of my eyes on the trading floor. But back in the day, younger guy, he sponsored me. I've got my 3 sponsors. If I remember right, I think Klein and Company, might have been Klein or SLK.
I can't think of the name.
As crazy as this sounds, I cannot remember the first clearing firm I ever joined with as a kid. I've been with so many. It was either Klein and
Was it
Company
Soul Stone?
or SLK. It was one of those 3.
Right.
I think it was Klein and Company.
Right.
So I convinced Klein and Company to put a guarantee behind me because they know me. They've seen me down there 5 years. Dominic, by the way, who was my mentor, I loved him to death, who asked me to take, to pretend and take the fall for him. And I said no. Well, he was big friends with Klein and Company. So I'm assuming he told David Klein, you back this kid. So now I've got a sponsor. I've got 3 sponsors, and I've got a clearing firm that's going to back me. This is on a Thursday. Monday, it all expires. What do I need now? Now I need $10,000 and a seat lease. These are 2 things I need left. First, I got to get a lease from someone who agrees. Now, how do you get a seat lease? There's a list of everyone that owns a seat on the exchange, COMEX, where you trade gold, silver, copper, platinum, palladium, if you want to go downstairs. And everyone who's not in the pit using their seat can rent it out. It's called a lease. So you get a list of the people who are leasing, and there's usually 20, 30 leases, and everybody else comes to work and uses their own seat. Well, as it turns out, there's only one available lease on the planet. One. That's it. And if I don't get it, I don't become a broker. And it is leased by John Loeb Jr. Does that ring a bell to you? Shearson Lehman Loeb Rhodes, John Loeb Jr. When Shearson Lehman was Shearson Lehman Loeb Rhodes, John Loeb Jr. was the heir to the whole damn kit and caboodle. And he's got an office on Park Avenue, 225 Park Avenue. He's got an office in the penthouse, and I'm going to have to go see this guy and convince him to put the seat in my name and lease it to me for $1,800 a month. Now, the exchange offers a letter called a hold harmless letter. Hold harmless, meaning no matter what you do in the pit, Oscar, no matter what your antics are, no matter how much you may win or lose, no one is held responsible but you. The person who owns that seat that's leasing it to you is not responsible. It is a hold harmless letter. You are the one who accepts all responsibility. So if someone leases you their Comex seat because they don't go to the floor and would prefer to lease it to you and make $1,800 a month, no matter what you do, you cannot affect them. This is a letter that the exchange gives you. This way, no leaseholder feels worried that they're going to lose their seat to some crazy kid. So I've got my letter, and I call John Loeb Jr. to make an appointment, and lo and behold, someone answers the phone and makes an appointment for me on Thursday afternoon for Friday. So he's on 225 Park Avenue, and I take a train or a cab. I don't remember how I got there. I think it was train or ferry train, the whole 9 yards. I get uptown, and of course, I had no suits. We had to scramble and go get me a suit because I got to look good, right? I don't know where we got the money from, but we got a suit. So I put on this suit, looking sharp. I got a briefcase in my hand. I've got the paperwork from the exchange. I've got the hold harmless letter, and I'm going to see Mr. John Loeb Jr. So they accept the appointment, 9:30 in the morning. I have to be up at Park Avenue. I get up there, get up in the elevator. I walk in, there's a receptionist, and she has me sit on this beautiful couch, chair next to it, beautiful setup, table in the middle. Mr. John Loeb Jr. will come see you shortly. All right. I'm waiting good 20 minutes, half an hour, no action. All right, I'm getting a little bit annoyed. There's still no action. I mean, seriously. And then out of nowhere, door opens up, and this guy comes walking out in a bow tie. He is wearing high water pants that have got to be 3-4 inches up his leg away from his shoe with white socks. And he's not 100% healthy, but he's there. His brain is there. And he comes over to me and he sticks out his hand. Who are you, sir? I'm Mr. Carboni. I understand you have a seat lease on a seat that I'd like to lease from you. It's a COMEX seat, which means you're allowed to trade gold, silver, copper, platinum, palladium down on the exchange.
I don't think he even knew he had a seat.
That's right. He says to me, you're right, babe, good memory. He says to me, what seat? We don't have a seat in this family. I go, oh, no, you do. He calls his secretary, blah, 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 blah. They're going through files. Back then, you had to go through files, right? Work with so many computers.
Right.
They're going through files, and voila, she pulls out this file. Lo and behold, Mr. Loeb, we actually have a COMEX seat in the family, and no one's using it. It's sitting here unused. Then he sits down with the COMEX. Now he's looking at it himself, and he's amazed that his family owns a seat. Now, me, it would be my entire life if I could just lease it from them for $1,800 a month, right? They own one. They don't even know it's in the family. So he says, Oscar, listen. I'm not Oscar. Michael, listen. I'm a little bit worried about leasing this seat to you. What if you lose money? I said, well, two things. A, I couldn't possibly lose all the money you're worth. And he laughed. I said, B, here's a hold harmless letter from the exchange. I'll let you read it. So he reads it. This states that you have absolutely zero exposure to me, nothing at all. You are leasing your seat to me, and that is it. The $1,800 a month is the only exposure you have, is if for some reason I don't pay you. And you take the seat away from me. That's your only exposure. Well, I'm not 100% sure I like that explanation. Let me call the exchange. He calls the exchange. He gets absolute top lawyers of the exchange. I can't hear the other end of the conversation, but I see him nodding, and he hangs up. He says, okay, the exchange says we're safe, but that's not enough for me. So what does he do next? Come on, Oscar. Well, come on, Michael. Let's get in the car. We go downstairs into this stretch limo, and he takes me across town, and he takes me to Shearson and Lieben, Loeb Roads, upstairs to the top brass attorneys. Puts that in front of them, and now here I am. What am I doing sitting with these guys? I'm with John Loeb Jr. I'm with the top brass of the exchange. Go me, right? Well, we sit there, and he shows it. He shows the hold harmless letter and explains my plight and what I'm looking to do. And the guy says to him, listen, John, you have zero worries here. Nothing can happen. Zero worries. Okay. That's not enough for him. We get back in the car, and he takes me across town, and we go to, like, Bear Stearns' top lawyer. It was Bear Stearns. He knows all these top lawyers. We go upstairs, sit with that top lawyer. 45 more minutes passes. The lawyer tries to convince him, this is fine. You're not going to get in any trouble. Sign it. Let the kid trade. That doesn't work. Okay, we get in the limo, and he takes us to another lawyer across town. Now, this is all J.P. Morgan's lawyer. No, it's Goldman Sachs' lawyer. Now, this is all day. This guy is taking me around for a letter that already states what all these attorneys are telling him, you are fine. After the third attorney, plus speaking to COMEX, it's now 4:30 in the afternoon. There are no other seats on the planet. If I don't get his seat, I don't get to go in the ring. No, I don't have money to go in the ring yet either. That's another story.
That's another day's story.
But I got to at least get the lease, and then I'll figure out where I'm getting money from. This all has to happen by Monday. So he brings me back to his office. Now we're back to Park Avenue. We sit down on that same stupid couch. And he says, Mr. Carboni, I've had a great day with you, and all the attorneys tell me that basically this is a safe deal, but I'm uncomfortable and I have to say no. And he says, no. And I went, I think for a moment there is no other lease left. That is it. This is the end for me. It's the end of the road. So what do? I look at him and go, are you kidding me? You said no? And I get up yelling, pointing at this guy. I take my briefcase, I pick it up, and I smash it down on the table. You have wasted my day. I have 500 people that would sign a lease. You have dragged me all over the city, lawyer after lawyer. How dare you waste my day? And I take my briefcase and I slam it one more time on the desk, on the big glass table, which almost breaks, and I head to the elevators, all pissed off. And this guy, I swear this is absolute. This guy comes running. I can hear the pitter-patter of feet. Comes running up behind me. I turn around, goes, stop, Mr. Carboni, stop where you are right now and follow me. Why? Just follow me. I follow him back into that little seating room. And he says, no one in my life has ever spoken to me that way, ever. Not even my nannies. No one has ever spoken to me that way. I respect you. I'm going to sign this lease. And with that, he signs the lease right there before my eyes. And I've got the lease. Hooray for me. But what a pair of kahunas on me to pretend that there's 500 other people I could have had the lease from and to scream in this guy's face, I'm a 21-year-old ornery little bastard with no money. You know what I mean? Why am I doing this? It's just who I am. So me reacting like that gets me the seat lease. Oh my God. So now what do I have? I've got 3 sponsors. I've got a clearing firm backing me. And I've got a seat lease. All I have to do now is
get
$10,000 cash. Where on earth? Now, I know it sounds small today, but in 1987, getting $10,000 cash from somebody, you're not getting it unless you can borrow it from a bank. Well, I can't borrow money from a bank. I'm too young, I'm too poor, and my family is poorer than me. They're not lending me any money.
And what bank is going to loan you money to trade
To
with?
trade commodities, right? Can I have a loan to trade commodities with? Right. So,
Hopefully I'll make money.
This ain't going to happen. But turns out that
That's another day story.
turns out that in some weird way, depending upon what neighborhood you grow up in and just how crooked your friends are, sometimes there's a way to come up with money that shouldn't have been there. So I'm at a spot now. It is Friday afternoon. I've literally got my seat lease finally signed. I've got my 3 sponsors, and I've got to walk in 9 a.m. Monday morning with $10,000 cash. And if I don't have it, this deal comes to an end. I will leave you with that. On Monday, I have to walk in that exchange with money, and I have no way of getting it. And I'm not someone that's going to go out and mug an old lady, right? That's not going to happen. But I've got to show up with 10 grand on Monday, and I will leave you with that, and I will explain to you tomorrow how I got that money and what happens from there. Boy, does it get stupid.
Tune in.
I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in, and we will
Bye,
do
everybody.
Tales from the Pit and continue these stories. You know, there's a lot of stories I'm going to go back to, by the way, and explain how the floor worked and all that great stuff. But we're jumping around a little because some of these stories just come to mind and I want to get them out. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tales from the Pit. I am out of here like Vladimir. Thank you so much.
Bye, everybody.